Hello, everybody. Once again, it is I, your semi chaotic, patriotic, non robotic cinema junkie. I didn't have any more otic words. How's everybody doing today? It is the 3rd of July, the day before the United States goes nuts with Chinese fireworks. And people from all countries who are here illegally try to blend in by waving American flags. Yes, it is Independence Day here in America, the day we freed ourselves from tyrannical British rule, and then welcomed them with open arms with the Beatles. Um, some of my best friends are from that area, England especially, London, England, England everywhere, England, love it. I want to go there someday. Just flying and me don't agree, man. I don't think I can last that long on a ship. So I guess it's going to have to come to me. But anyways, I digress. Like I asked, how's everybody doing today? I hope everyone's doing great. I hope you got great plans for the 4th of July. Safe and sane are the two words that people like to throw around on the 4th of July. But I say, fuck it, man. Live it up. If you lose a couple of fingers, hey, you got 10 of them. Do you really need them all? Like those fireworks. So like I said, also today is the 3rd. Or 3rd if you're from Germany. The 3rd. Yeah, I just watched Inglorious Bastards the other day. So this is the German 3. The other way looks odd. So today is going to be a bit of an update. I went out yesterday, one of my little excursions into this great city I call Chicago. I've been enjoying it immensely. I got a deal on some 3-day bus passes, so I decided to use one, burn it up, and just go explore my city a little bit. And it was fun. I had fun. Got my mind off of things, detached myself from my cell phone for a little while, and yeah, just kind of rediscovered things and discovered some new stuff as well. But anyways, on my way home yesterday, I stopped at the ever famous Exchange. You know that place I love to shop at. Well, when I go in there, I usually look for the 250 and below DVDs. Now, you know, they say you get what you pay for, and yes, they have a lot of DVDs that range anywhere from 5 and up. You can get brand new stuff for around around $30. But they have everything in there: games, movies, CDs. CDs nuts. Record albums. They have consoles. They have a little bit of everything in there. Collectibles, toys, and stuff. They got all that in there. But I stick to the DVDs. Don't buy a whole lot of Blu-rays in there, but I do get the DVDs. And I got quite the haul. I got 10 $2.50 movies and 10 $1 movies. You do the math. Give up $35. So, plus tax, of course. Yeah. And I'll tell you a little bit about how stubborn I can be sometimes, but after I show you the movies. Okay, start with the 250 movies. This is one I had seen several times. I've seen the box and never watched the movie. And I read the back of it finally. It was from the Masters of Horror collection. I really missed that series, really. I do. Uh, I thought it was great what they could do in an hour. Direct and to the point. Some of those stories are pretty damn good. I like them a lot. This is one of them that I've never seen. It's called Dance of the Dead with Robert Englund. It just looks great all the way around. It sounds great. The storyline on it sounds intriguing as all get out, and got it for $2.50. So looking forward to watching that. Let's put that right there. No, right there. There. Don't fall. I also got this movie here. Again, interesting story. Never heard of it before. Never seen it. Borderline Cult. The synopsis on it is: after 3 ruthless serial killers team up in the Mexican border town of Juarez, hundreds of women are abducted, tortured, and murdered in this grisly new thriller from famed horror master Uli Lamel. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right. I have never heard of this person before, but I might be familiar with his work and not know it. I was intrigued by this because there were actually a lot of killings in Juarez. A lot of women did go missing, and I believe they found a pit that a lot of the bodies were disposed in, not of. I had my own theories on God, I cannot talk today. I had my own theories on what exactly was going on with these women. Some people said it was like a male chauvinistic thing where the men there, they're very proud males. They're like they want to keep women very subservient. That's that mentality. Um, so people said they'd see him going to work and they'd think, who the hell does this woman think she was working? And kill him. But I think it was more than that. I won't go into what I think it was. But anyways, this kind of touches on the story and says that 3 serial killers are responsible. Now, I don't know if the 3 serial killers actually just meet up there. They just, on a chance, they meet up with each other. Or if it's a group that goes to Juarez to carry out their sick deeds. Either way, I'll be checking it out and I'll let you guys know what I thought of that. Another border type movie inspired by a true story is Borderland, part of the 8 Films to Die For After Dark Horror Fest. I saw the first one. That's all I've seen of it. I've seen like maybe 1 or 2 movies from the other series, but I saw the first series a long time ago. Thought it was pretty cool. Felt a little ripped off though, because when they said the After Dark Horror Fest, I thought it was gonna be like a movie festival. You pay one fee, maybe $25. You see 8 movies, and for us horror fans, have like a movie marathon kind of thing. That wasn't the case. Each movie was its own entity, and each movie cost money. So I guess they just roped us in with that thing about releasing movies that no other executive producing company would ever release. And you feel like, wow, they must be pretty badass. There's another side of that coin. It could be that bad that they won't release them. But I did start to watch this a while back, Borderland, and this one is based loosely on the Montemores killings. A bunch of college kids got swept up, lured off by a lady who was part of a drug-running cult. They sacrificed them, took out their brains, took out their hearts, and because they thought it would give them power to be invisible to the cops. So they thought their drug operation would be a thriving success. The 2 leaders of this so-called cult / drug running business wound up dead. They weren't that invisible. Also a part of the 8 Films to Die For After Dark Horror Fest. This one I did see, but I figured for $2.50 I had to own it. Dark Ride. Now this one kind of reminds me in a loose sort of way of Funhouse. I am throwing words in there that do not belong. I don't know if I'm going to have a stroke any second now or what the hell. But Dark Ride, like I was saying, it reminds me a little bit of Funhouse, Tobe Hooper's classic. I like this one. I thought it was kind of fun. It was neat. Little backstory on it and stuff. It was cool. So yeah, I'm definitely not regretting buying this, of course. $2.50. Why would I regret buying it? I just got it yesterday. If I played it and it didn't play, then I'd regret buying it. But this is one I see on Amazon all the time. Altered. I've been very curious about this one. From what I've read of it, it's about 3 friends who get together to get revenge on an alien life form that abducted them, along with another friend who wound up dying. They seek revenge on this alien life form. It's kind of like Fire in the Sky meets Death Wish. Little vengeance on the aliens. Die, Alien Grey, die. Be checking this one out as well, and I will let you know what I think of that one. Also in the $2.50 pile, I'm going to show them both because one's a sequel to the other. Jeepers Creepers and Jeepers Creepers 2. Yes, I know the story behind the director. Yes, I know the infamous deeds he has done. Yes, I know he is a sick man and he probably needs a lot of help. But it does not dismiss the fact that these movies are pretty cool. This one, of course, better than this one, but not by a huge margin. Yeah, there's a lot of subtle hints, I guess, to his mindset. I say that with a little bit of reservation because It's not an unknown fact that he is gay, which is no problem to me whatsoever. Be who you're going to be. But the rule is don't hurt anybody. And he did. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Google it, Wikipedia it, whatever you do. Victor Salva is his name. This is not the forum for that right now. All I'm saying is Jeepers Creepers 1 and 2, I enjoyed very, very much. 1 and 2, sorry. Coming in 3D. I did enjoy them very much. I'm looking forward to part 3, actually. So, got those for $2.50 a piece. I could have got the 2-pack for about $5 to $7.50 new, I believe, at Walmart. But it's got like this blue border around it and has this really cheap small picture like diagonal from each other. And, yeah, you know, you miss out on the box art, which to me is like part of the fun of collecting. That's why I'm not into this whole cloud thing. You know, what do you want to do? You want to show off your collection. You don't want to go open up your computers and check out my collection. No, you want to go into a library full of DVDs and VHS and say, this I've worked on collecting. Not send it in the cloud. Watch it on your laptop, where the hell you stream to. I mean, sure, it's convenient. It'd be great if you're like traveling and stuff. If you like watching a movie, boom, there it is. One of my favorites. But yeah, this is to me like a better way of collecting, really, because like, hey, have you guys got the new title yet? No, but I will. Click, 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 click. Okay, it's downloaded. Send it to the cloud. And I know they have services at like Best Buy and stuff where you can take your DVDs in and they'll put it in a digital format so you can send it to the cloud. Oh, I'd like to see them handle like maybe 5 or 6 of us and bring in our boxes full of movies and go, here you go, cloud it up, son of a bitch. So, yeah, nah, I'll stick with DVD. Thanks. And another After Dark Horror Fest title, one I've never seen, but I've seen the previews to it, got me a little curious. And for $2.50, I'll gamble on it. Nightmare Man. The title sounds a little generic, I have to admit, but I have been surprised with much less. So let's see what it has to offer, see how it stands up, and I will let you guys know as well about this one. Here's a favorite of mine, one of my favorite Del Toro movies, The Orphanage. I got this also for $2.50. Like I said, this is a $2.50 pile. I shouldn't have to keep saying it's $2.50. Sorry about that. I just felt compelled to ask. It's like to say. See, there I go again. Stroke. It's like an automatic reaction for me to tell you what the price on it was, even though I just said this is the $2.50 pile. That means every movie I'm showing you right now is $2.50. But it's an automatic reaction. It's like when you go to a restaurant and you say, yeah, I want give me 3 slices of pizza and 2 Polish and fries and 3 triple fat milkshakes. And they go, for here to go. It's like, I'm by myself, asshole. Now, I know some of you smartasses out there say, well, yeah, of course. He'd be a little confused if it was you ordering. But I saw it happen today. This girl ordered like 3 Polishes and fries. And he was like, for here? She didn't look like she could eat half of one, let alone 3. But it's a natural question. It's an automatic thing you asked for here to go. So it's automatic for me to tell you the price. Orphanage, loved it. First Del Toro movie I ever saw was Devil's Backbone, and that was before I knew who he was. Didn't know he directed Cronos, so I guess Cronos was the first one, but I don't remember that one too much. Devil's Backbone was excellent. He has this flair for telling stories that have to do with ghosts and children together. Mama was his latest one, and I enjoyed that. A lot of people didn't care for the ending. It was a little bit on the mushy side, kind of like Pan's Labyrinth, but I enjoyed that one as well, so no complaints from me. The Orphanage. Love it. And the last movie in this pile, see, I didn't say the price this time, was one that I never finished watching. I get distracted really easily. I think I got that adult ADHD or ADD or subtraction or multiplication or whatever the fuck they call that shit. But this is Night Watch. Now, I don't really categorize this too much as a horror film, although maybe there might be some little elements here and there. Not really what I would call a horror film. Just like I don't think Constantine is a horror film. This is right on par with kind of like Constantine. A lot of supernatural imagery and things like that. More of a fantasy movie than horror. Fantasy action flick, I should say. Basically, the fight of good and evil goes on, and it's in this movie. There was a sequel, I think, called Daywatch, and I think there was one like had to do with the water. Baywatch? No. Okay. Anyways, Night Watch, Day Watch, and I think there's another one coming out as well, but I don't know for sure, so don't quote me on that. Now, all of these were $1, so I won't be repeating the price again. And not all of them, well, hardly any of them, have anything to do with horror. These are mostly action movies and one comedy that I can see. So, kicking it off first with Saving Private Ryan. Absolutely dig this movie. I like it a lot. To think that Tom Hanks starred in movies like Bachelor Party, were the first movie I ever saw him in. He Knows You're Alone. His acting chops were not sharp back then. And to think that he's become this actor, this Castaway, The Terminal, Philadelphia, it just blows my mind how he's perfected his craft and expanded his horizons a little bit to go past comedy. But my favorite Tom Hanks movie will always be The Burbs. Can I get an amen on that one? Hell yeah. Next up, Unleashed. I believe it's named Danny the Dog in other countries, but released here it was called Unleashed, starring Jet Li. Plays the part of Danny. His master, so to speak, keeps him on a leash. And when he unlocks the leash and takes it off him, he goes into like an ultimate kill mode and starts beating the shit out of anybody he has his eyes on. He fights them against people, and he takes them to collect like money to enforce the law, as it were. Then he meets a family who treats him like a human being, and he starts to get in touch with emotions and feelings he never knew he had. So I wouldn't call it really a touching movie. Good fight scenes in it, but it was a little different. I liked it. Definitely dug it. And on the remake trail, The Hitcher. I did like this. I really did like this. Maybe not as much as the original, but it wasn't about the storyline and the set and anything like that. It was just Rutger Hauer. Come on, Rutger Hauer, give it up. Rutger Hauer was excellent in the original Hitcher. His whole demeanor, creepy son of a bitch, man. He was something else in that movie. I really, my favorite scene out of there was the diner scene between him and C. Thomas Howell, when C. Thomas Howell's holding the gun at him under the table, and then he takes his finger. Rutger Hauer takes his finger and touches the barrel with it and said, I'm going to squeeze my trigger when you squeeze yours. And he gets him all scared and shit. Good scene. Very good scene. You have to see the whole thing to understand. But remake, not terrible. Worth the money I paid for it. See, I almost said the price again. Worth what I paid for it. That's all I'll say. Next, Broken Lizards, Club Dread. From the guys who brought you Super Troopers, which I really love that movie. Club Dread. They tried their hand at a horror comedy. They pulled it off okay. I thought it was pretty neat. I think the ending was a little weak, but it's supposed to be goofy, so not to be taken that seriously, I guess. Yeah. I mean, it's Broken Lizard. You know what you're getting into with these guys. They're all goofy, fun, pretty hilarious at times. So, Club Dread. Got a little Bruce Willis action here in 16 Blocks. Never seen this movie. Never heard anything on it. I'm assuming he's transferring a prisoner, and I know that's terrible of me to automatically assume that this guy's a prisoner, but I kind of get the feeling he's guarding him, and he has to get him from one place to another, and he has to cover 16 blocks, hence the title. I'm sure during that 16 block filming, there's a lot of obstacles, and probably people trying to kill this dude, and that's what the movie is based on. I figure, hey, if they can shoot Breakfast Club in a library all day, they can cover 16 blocks and make it work. Old favorite of mine, Suicide Kings, Christopher Walken. there's not very many Christopher Walken movies that I don't like. This one was very cool, but the show stealer in this one for me was Dennis Leary. I just really thought he was really cool in this movie, and loved the whole line about the fish boots. I mean, that was, if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, check it out. Um, it's just entertaining to me. Love it. Suicide Kings. This one I was kind of on the line with. I mean, I liked the movie, but I didn't like the case it came in. I do not like these. It's not even the case that it came in. It's the label. I hate these labels with a passion. But I got Edge of Darkness, Mel Gibson movie, and this is what I'm talking about. Rental. If I'm in a Blockbuster getting a movie that I plan on returning, I know it's a friggin' rental. I don't need something on there that tells me it's a rental. Because you know once this movie gets used, they're going to sell it. Why would you put this on it? This is worse than the Walmart sticker right on the label. Okay? Because at least that you can get off with a little effort. This doesn't go anywhere. The most you can do with this is either cover it with something or rip it out and leave it looking ranked. But I still don't hate this as much as Eco Cases. So, but this is a close second. Even the disc says it. In case they didn't make that plain enough on the label, they put it on the disc. Really, man? Seriously? Something tells me that since it's a rental, it's not going to come with a whole lot of special features. Nope. But that's okay. I love the movie anyway. I thought it was cool. I'm covering up the name that's written on this. I don't know why this person labeled it right on the case. That's kind of Momo of them. Nobody needs to know that person's name. I'm not giving them any free advertisement. But Al Pacino's Carlito's Way. He plays a Puerto Rican gangster in this one. Sean Penn plays his lawyer. And now I know. And then when you see this, you know why they slated him for playing Larry Fine in the Three Stooges movie. Looks just like him. But I like Al Pacino. I really do. And this one, while it's not one of his best movies, it's way, 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 way better than Godfather 3 on its best day. This takes that taste out of my mouth. So this is definitely cool. The Haunting in Connecticut. Of course I liked it. I bought it. Didn't care for the sequel too much. Although it had potential, it was the title that worked against it. The title was called The Haunting in Connecticut, Spirits of Georgia, or Ghosts of Georgia. I'm like, how do you make a connection between Connecticut and Georgia? They're not in the same area. They're two separate entities. They're two separate places. The only way that could have worked is if they took a character from here and had them move to Georgia. Remember all the shit that happened back in Connecticut? I think it's happening again. But no, totally different people, totally different family, meeting up with totally different types of ghosts. But they had to throw that in there because it wouldn't stand on its own merit. Much like Halloween 3. Halloween 3 should have just been called something else totally. And that, I think, is what drew a lot of hate for the movie, was because it had nothing to do with 1 and 2. I know the original concept was to make a different movie for each part of Halloween. It was going to follow a different story. The first one was going to be a slasher. The second one would have been something totally different, and so on. Part 3 took on with the original idea of making a totally different story and not involving Michael Myers in any way. But since they called it Halloween 3 and figured they needed to sell it on that point, then they put Michael Myers via commercials for the original Halloween. Sneaky, sneaky little bastards. But Haunting in Connecticut, I definitely dug. Something very, very creepy and very cool about the funeral home they move into. Ex-funeral home, I guess. It was really, really neat. And finally, the last one. Another remake. This one drew more than a bit of fire. Even for me. But not. I wasn't that harsh on it. I was more like meh. I mean, stick with the original because it's pretty much the same thing, and the original, has a little more heart, a little more feeling to it. Um, because for all intents and purposes, the remake was almost a frame by frame reshoot of the original. So you're not really getting a whole lot of new in here. There's no embellishing on the original story and adding to it or taking away from it, like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake or the Night of the Living Dead remake. Like that was almost the same thing, but they changed it up a little bit. They made Barbara more of a heroine instead of just some catatonic blonde chick on a sofa. But this remake is My Bloody Valentine 3D. The price was right. There were other movies there that I wouldn't touch for half the price that I paid for this one. Paranormal Activity being one of them. Nah, wouldn't spend that much on that movie. Seriously. Not even at a quarter of the price. But I know some people are out there saying, oh man, My Bloody Valentine 3D sucked ass. Like I said, I prefer the original to this one. I really do. And I own it. It's on my shelf. But for the price, it wasn't bad. And the selling point was when I cracked it open and saw the 3D glasses were still in there. If there were no 3D glasses, I would have put it right back. But 3D glasses were a selling point for me. So even though it's that red and blue 3D, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But at least I have the option. See what I mean? So, yeah, bought that one. My Bloody Valentine 3D. The best 3D horror film ever made, which is a stretch because, or really I should say not saying much, because a lot of the 3D movies that are out really aren't that great. Even the 3D isn't that great. The new Silent Hill movie is a prime example of that. Bleh. So that is it, mine friends. What am I looking for? I was looking for something. Anyways, let me put these back. Hope I don't drop them. Yep, that's it for my update. I hope everyone is having a ball tomorrow on July the 4th. So for me, your ever-loving Mr. Cinema Junkie, I wish you all a safe and very sane Independence Day. Party up! Woohoo! Take care, guys. I appreciate you watching the video. Talk to you later.